Well, this is a sleeve of 3 Titleist golf balls put out by Wheaties, and they have a Tiger Woods signature on each ball. And I bought these along with about 6 or 7 more sleeves of these, which I've sold quite a few. After this sale, I have 2 left, but I bought these about 10 years ago. And the first few sleeves sold right away, but then Tiger Woods got into some trouble and sales dropped. And I guess he's in good favor now, or somebody's just looking for some memorabilia, and these sold for $13. This is a lot of 3 newspapers that came in a box lot, and they cover 1945, 3 big events in 1945, the death of Roosevelt, Germany's surrender, and Japan's surrender in the Pacific. These are all Minneapolis Times, Star Journal, and this one's also Star Journal. Pretty good shape, although this one does have some wear to it. I put these up several months ago, and they finally sold for $30. This is another Panasonic portable radio, part of a number of them I bought online auction here locally. And this one just needed typical cleanup of the volume and tone control, so there's no scratchy noises. And whenever I look at these, I always make sure it's got a good antenna, because that is integral to these radios operating properly. And this one turned out really nice, and I was able to sell it for $50. This is a base station microphone. I saw it as part of a box lot for some items that I wanted. I really wasn't bidding on this in particular, but I knew I could probably make some sense out of it and make a sale. It's got an 8-pin connector, which is kind of odd, probably for a ham radio. And the nomenclature or badges are all missing from it, but I was able to recognize it when I just typed in base station microphone, and was able to determine that it was an Ericsson sold by GE. And so that's how I titled the listing, and it sold within hours for $28. Another portable record player. Again, this is a General Electric's Wildcat suitcase configuration. And I do quite well with these. I pick them up whenever I can. They're usually in non-working order, but I've got a routine now pulling out the turntable. As a matter of fact, I did a little bit more of a video showing some of the work as it was being done to include in the listing. And this one I priced higher than I've priced any of them before. And it sold within a week for $325. A couple of these blank 8-track tapes sold. These are these weird time, 32 minutes each. But they're still new and sealed. Actually, they're kind of a off-brand as well, not very well known. And these sell for $9 a piece. Just back from a little vacation. Store's back online off of vacation mode, and I sold these switches. These came off of a turntable, a Marantz 6300 turntable. They took a while to sell, but I got $19 for them. This turntable was not working, and I was able to part out a lot of it so far, and most of the major parts have sold already, so it was nice to see these 2 little switches go. This is an illustrated buyer's guide for Mopar, or Dodge muscle cars, Plymouth muscle cars. And this is part of my own collection of books that I bought a long time ago, 80s, 90s, and this sold for $12. This is a Sony Sport AM/FM radio and cassette player. Cassette player works just fine. Did clean the head on it, and it's got a good antenna. Another thing you always watch for on these is make sure the battery compartment cover is present. And this one will run on batteries or an AC adapter. And I often buy AC adapters when I can buy a bunch of them pretty cheap, and then have them on hand. You got to match up the polarity as well as the voltage. I happen to have this, and so I was able to include that, and this sold for $65. This is an auto part I bought on an online auction. It was new in the package, and it had the part number, so I didn't care what it was for or anything. And it was actually marked for a Camray. It's a piece of window trim, and still new in the package. I was able to sell this for $50. Well, this is one of those kinetically powered, I use the word perpetual motion, but obviously it's got battery power, but it's the Space Shuttle. These were really popular in the 80s, where they'll continue to spin in a gyroscopic motion. And I don't remember where I got this. I used to have it displayed on my coffee table, and I remember I still had the box. And so I put it up for sale last winter, and it finally sold for $23. Now, this is the album well or holder out of a record console, a Zenith stereo console that I parted out. Had a bad cabinet, and I figured somebody maybe has a broken one or is putting together their own console, and I sold this for $20. Now, this is a pair of knife holders. I saw these on a free table at a sale well over a year ago. They've taken that long to sell. I picked them up right away because they are Cutco brand. If you ever come across their knives or scissors, they are a really good seller. These can be put in a drawer to hold your knives, or you can hang them on the wall. And yeah, it did take over a year to sell. And let's see, these went for $18 for the pair. This is another part off of a stereo console. This is off of a GE from the late 60s, early 70s. It's the record cleaner. I don't know if you can read that there. But this mounted to the inside front, right in front of the record player. And it's designed for 7-inch 45s. You just slip them in there and turn them by hand, and it cleans the dust off. And I was able to sell this for $20. This is another auto part I picked up at the local online auction. It's for a Buick, and it's a fog lamp bezel. I probably didn't pay more than $2-3. I'm one of the only guys that'll bid on these odd auto parts, but when they have a part number and they're new, I just can't resist. It did take a couple of months to sell, but I got $70 for it. Can't laugh at that. Here's a head shell off of a dual turntable with a special Ulm tone arm. All things that I didn't know until I did some research. And this has been up for sale for at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 years. I'm selling a lot of stuff lately that's been up for quite a while. And this doesn't have a cartridge, but does include the wiring. It's very specialized. So I knew it would take a while, but I was able to get $60 for it. Hey, another hat sold. This one's like brand new. Sound Gear. Not sure what that is, but this is a typical trucker hat. And it sold for what I used to always sell them for, $20. This is a power cord off of a console. A lot of console parts selling lately. This is integral to a console that has, you know, that fiberboard backing. And this is what's called an interlock cable. This kind of attaches to that backboard. And so you can't pull that backboard off without unplugging the power from it. Sort of a safety aspect. And this sold for $15. Now this is a Pendleton loop collar board shirt made popular by The Beach Boys, all wearing them on a cover of an album. And these are nice to find. Loop collar, meaning that little loop there for the top button. And board shirt. Another thing is a straight hem on the bottom. And this one sold for $90. It did take quite a while though. Probably been up for a year. I picked up this desk lamp at a garage sale for just a couple of bucks. It works just fine. It's plastic, but it's a sort of an ivory color. And I believe it to be probably 70s vintage. It has a couple of fluorescent lamps in there. Works just fine. And I think I bought this over the summer, so it didn't take too long to sell for $35. These are pipe cleaner kits. And I acquired these along with some other Tobacciana, and decided to list them separate from the, I believe it was a humidor, or it might have been a pipe holder. These kind of items for pipes don't sell very quickly. It's a very limited audience out there, but eBay is one of the only places you can find stuff sometimes. The three of them are, one is made in the USA, it's an Atmos. This one is Czechoslovakian made, and this one was made in Hong Kong. It's still new in the package. I'll be able to sell the three of them for $18. Now this is the Defroster ductwork for a 74 to 78 Mustang II. I've had this up for sale for several years, and I had it up for $35, and somebody finally offered gave me a $20 offer. I actually have two of these up for sale, so it's about time I get rid of one of them at least at a discounted price. I suppose these are not something that needs to be replaced that often, unless you get into a real bad front end accident or you just are restoring a vehicle. Again, this sold for 20 bucks. Now this set of two Riedel Veritas glasses, wine glasses. I believe they make wine glasses specific to a grape variety, but they do. I found these at a garage sale about a year ago, I guess, and I put them up for sale for $50. I have sold these before, but I noticed them the other day, just kind of going through some of my listings, and decided to lower the price to $35, and they sold right away. Now this is another 8-track tape cleaning cartridge. I come across these quite often as I buy stereo equipment. Although it looks like it's still new in the package, it had been removed, so I sold it as used. Looks like it cost $1.69 back in the day. It probably came from a Musicland music store. Even has a date on here when it was used on their machine. And I got $15 for this. This is like the third piece of this Jim Dandy Hominy Grits canvas material that I've sold over the years. It doesn't sell real fast. It's made of fairly heavy canvas, 75 by 45 inches in size, and I was able to get $65 for it.